Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 3 between Drewbie and DIMAGA at Root Gaming's Warzone, sponsored by DreamHost. We saw DIMAGA have an amazing macro game, first off in Metalopolis, and Game 2, another amazing macro game, but Drewbie having such amazing positioning and just splitting his Marines and Marauders amazingly against those Banelings, had a very, very convincing win against DIMAGA. DIMAGA did manage to hang in the game for a long time, but it was a severe uphill battle, so DIMAGA's going to be very exhausted going into this Game 3. Drewbie's going to be having a lot of confidence. The one issue for Drewbie, though, is that the map is Blistering Sands. Let's go into Game 3 to find out who our first semi-finalist will be. There's the Gulhufgug by Drewbie, and the Good Luck Have Fun Good Game by DIMAGA. In the bottom left, as the yellow Zerg, we have MTW's DIMAGA. In the top right, we have Root Gaming's Red Terran Drewbie. This is going to be a very tough spot for Terran because of one simple reason. Early game, this destructible rock is very, very difficult to keep up. It is very easy to knock down with roaches or zerglings early on and create tons of entrances into Terran's base. Terran operates best when they can have limited, small choke points that they can defend with small numbers of units so that they can move out with one large attack ball and roll over the opponent. Zergs love having multiple entrances spread out so they can exploit how fast Zerglings, Roaches, Banelings, and Mutalisks are. So it's going to be very, very tough. That is the big consideration. Generally, the way that Terrans combat this is just by hanging out up on the high ground and getting a lot of barracks units early on. Investing in a stim off a very fast tech lab is essential. QXC had a crippling loss against the Zerg player Sen on this map because QXC was literally 10 seconds away from getting stim when his backdoor rocks fell. Really goes to show you how essential of an upgrade that is. But looks like Drewbie might be going for a Reaper play. We saw the barracks go down on 12, and then the refinery go down on 12 instead of 13. In the meantime, DIMAGA confidently planting a hatch down on 16. These distances are extremely far by ground, so that means that even though a bunker rush might be coming inevitably from this barracks placement, there's plenty of time for DIMAGA to build up a lot of drones to get extra Zerglings out in time. So it looks like there's the 16 hatch, 16 pool from DIMAGA. There's the tech lab going down immediately from Root Gaming's Drewbie, and there we see the orbital command en route. One SCV heading out into the fray. I don't even think there's going to be a supply depot getting constructed. As we do know, those Reapers cost pretty much no food. Looks like that SCV did manage to walk right by that drone. Doesn't look like any gas has been thrown down for DIMAGA yet. Going to wait just a little bit longer. Wants to have as many minerals as possible. Here comes the SCV darting forward. We do see the Reaper coming out right now, but the big thing is that DIMAGA doesn't see a barracks. He's very confused. He knows that generally you would see a barracks at this point in time. And it looks like Drewbie was going for the wall, and he did manage to plant down one supply depot. He will have to cancel it. He wanted to build buildings to wall the Zerg in to let the Reaper do maximum damage, but it looks like Drewbie will just be pulling back and perhaps just going for a typical usual expansion. DIMAGA, though, very aware of an impending threat, throwing down spine crawlers. I think a little bit of an overreaction. He did fine last game with no spine crawlers, but bringing a lot of drones out into the fray. Another SCV coming up from Drewbie. Drewbie continuing to make SCVs no all-in style coming up, and there is the Reaper. Will be able to pick off a drone. No! DIMAGA might be able to get the surround. The bunker gets canceled. Amazing defense there by DIMAGA, but should definitely cancel that. This thing, the little spine crawler tentacle man, that would be a very, very wise investment to just get rid of it, but no, he's just going to go ahead and let that finish, wants to stay defensive. He knows that there's a lot of attack points on this map. Reapers can abuse the fact that there's this little cliff here, so it looks like he wants to just keep the spine crawler up to be anti-Reaper for now. And look at that, gas guys are only finishing on 27 food. Very, very late gas guys are going down. Drewbie also gearing up to try to do a little bit of damage with the Reapers. He's going to bait him in, and there's the hit from the backside, but it looks like the Queen just couldn't do damage fast enough, so Drewbie will end up retreating for now. Command Center, more barracks getting constructed for Drewbie, and there's the stim upgrade coming up very early again. 3 Reapers on the field for Drewbie. He can pick those drones off one shot at a time. DIMAGA now constructing a little bit of extra dronage. Is he getting supply block? No, of course not. DIMAGA would never do such a thing. There's that Overlord popping out right in time. No layer out yet. It looks like he is getting Zergling speed first instead. Going to stay very, very low tech this game. There's a little bit of one-shotting going on by Drewbie, but does not want to commit with those Reapers, does not want to suicide them, because every Reaper you keep alive is one more Xel'Naga Watchtower that you can do spotting at. There are the 2 tech labs, or excuse me, yep, there's 1 tech lab back at the original barracks, second one coming up. Looks like 2 more reactors will be en route as well. Layer is only just now started for DIMAGA. Baneling Nest going up as well. Very typical play from Zergs nowadays. Because those Marine stim pushes are so common, Zerg players are realizing that they just kind of need to throw down a Baneling Nest just in case. But that's okay, because DIMAGA is going to be spending almost all his larva on drones, so he's going to be feeling very comfortable. Looks like, uh-oh, they're going to try to advance forward, but there's a Spine Crawler. Oh, look at that reaction timing by Drewbie, popping back at the last second. Bunker coming up right now. Backdoor is intact. Looks like the second reactor is finished. Drewbie doing almost the identical build he did last game. Wants to exploit mobility, perhaps even use these destructible rocks himself. Ooh. Layer getting increasingly close to finishing. Could be investing just in a very fast Baneling speed upgrade. Would not be a bad idea. Third Queen coming up for DIMAGA. Essential to spread creep. Because these distances are enormous and because there are 3 different attack paths, 1 up the top, 1 through the center, and 1 at the bottom. He wants to have creep spread everywhere he can. And oh, DIMAGA going to try to do a run by, but loses 6 Zerglings in the process. So he just retreats to those essential destructible rocks. So important to keep those alive all game long. So Drewbie is actually going to bounce out and try to hit it from behind. Baneling speed going up, more drones coming up. DIMAGA sees it, he's going to retreat. And ooh, DIMAGA doing perhaps the most new school style of Zerg play, just Zergling Baneling. Mass Zergling Baneling. Looks like DIMAGA's going to have to build those Banelings fast, because Drewbie's actually gearing up for a big push. No combat shield yet, but has a huge number of Marines and Marauders. Those Banelings are getting really close to being finished. And there's the stem. He's now darting up. The 2 Queens are in the fray. He needs to run behind with the Zerglings. The Banelings are up right now. Drewbie has to control this very well, and it looks like, oh, a Baneling hit manages to pick off most of the units at the front. Almost everything dies except for this 1 Marine, and he will have to stem his little butt off if he wants to be able to return home in time. On the resource counting station, we see that DIMAGA is skyrocketing past Drewbie. Drewbie lost a lot of forces in that initial fray, so he will end up having to rebuild almost all of them. No upgrades started yet. As usual, Drewbie trying to favor those faster medevacs, only just now getting a 3rd gas at his expansion. There's the Infestation Pit coming up from DIMAGA. The no Mutalisk play, investing solely in Zerglings and Banelings. When will he be expanding? Looks like not soon. Going to be investing all his money into unit production and upgrades. In the meantime, excuse me, it looks like Drewbie is now advancing forward with small numbers of Marines and Marauders. It's very difficult to constantly reinforce to a position like this because the threat of a counterattack is so huge. And uh-oh, looks like Drewbie is not yet stemmed. Does he realize? Oh, and there's the final stem. And look at DIMAGA. The instant he sees a stem, he retreats in a heartbeat. That is a wasted stem from Drewbie. All those units are a little bit weaker. And Drewbie has to be careful about that miss rally. In the meantime, just Zerglings being made. +1/+1 coming up for DIMAGA. Has no 3rd anywhere except for that one. And it looks like these destructible rocks are getting target fired, but it looks like it's just a bait. Oh, DIMAGA with the perfect surround. The Marines, oh, they're trying to retreat back. Can he do a good spread? Another wasted stem by DIMAGA, or by Drewbie, and it looks like those medevacs have not even begun production yet. Drewbie gonna have to go for big 2 base play. Whenever it's very difficult to take a 3rd, you have to go huge numbers of forces off 2 bases in order to protect it. We do see DIMAGA spreading creep around the entire map, trying to join up to his 3rd. He hasn't taken the gold yet because he just hasn't had time to move these Zerglings away from the front. Just Zerglings and Banelings. Very, very effective mix against Marine Marauder. Looks like the Infestation Pit has not really done anything yet, but we do see 24 Banelings in production. Oh my gosh, it doesn't even matter if it was an all Marauder Thor army. That many Banelings kills off anything really fast. There are the two medevacs finally going down. Drewbie knows those upgrades are going to be increasingly important, but he's starting them late. Drewbie is already quite far, Dimaga's already quite far ahead in the upgrade battle, but it looks like Dimaga's just going for a bust of his own. Drewbie's not paying attention! Oh, he stims so late! Oh, the Banelings roll right in. The SCVs don't fare too well against them. Huge bust there by DIMAGA. Drewbie, who was in pretty decent position, getting completely snapped at the front door of his base. We see Drewbie having to do lift land micro from those medevacs. He won't even be able to start those upgrades, and again, those backdoor destructible rocks are becoming so close to getting finished. DIMAGA making yet more Banelings in production. It is just Zerglings, just Banelings, more mules coming out from Drewbie. His SCV count was crippled, and with these backdoors falling, it is going to be so hard for Drewbie to be able to do anything offensive in this game. All those creep tumors are now just darting across the center of the map. +2/+2 coming out for DIMAGA. Destructible rocks haven't been taken out, but it looks like DIMAGA's going for another play again. He stims everything. All the Marines are safe in the bunker until that happens, and now they're getting surrounded. Those Marauders just do not do damage quickly enough against those Zerglings, but it looks like DIMAGA, does another huge hit with the Banelings, and DIMAGA has broken the front. Drewbie is trying to macro out with as many Marines as he can, but with those upgrades on the Zerglings, those Marines will be dying very, very quickly, and it looks like more Banelings now rolling in. Oh, Drewbie is going to have an impossible time trying to hold that off, and there's the frown. The good game, and DIMAGA is your very first semi-finalist of Root Gaming's Warzone tournament. $3,500 on the line, all thanks to DreamHost. So, do not go anywhere if you're watching this live, because we will be going directly into White Ra against Pain User. Oh gosh, that's going to be great. Or if you're watching this on the archives, just go watch White Ra vs. Pain User. See ya in a bit.